All right, analysis of the Joe Biden's first speech ever as president-elect. Whoa, Skittles. All right. And Kamala Harris as well. She introduced him. I'll tell you all about her speech as well. First, as usual, let me point out that this video is, and by the way, Biden's speech took a turn. And so I'm going to tell you all about that turn in a second. It's important. But this video is brought to you by you guys. Hit the join button below. If you're watching on YouTube, become a Young Turks member, and you are the Young Turks, and you make this show possible. tyt.com/join anywhere else. And then as usual, of course, we're going all white today. So I got my white twostrongcoffee.com/TYT mug. So check out twostrongcoffee.com/TYT because they help progressives. They're organic, they're fair trade, they're delicious. And look at this, the white version of You're Fired. Shop tyt.com. Who doesn't love this shirt? This is like the greatest shirt ever made. Anyway, I was at a supermarket yesterday wearing the navy blue version of this, and people were like, where do I get that shirt? I love that shirt. Shop tyt.com. Okay, so let's go to analysis of the speech. First of all, Kamala Harris comes out, perfectly good, benign speech. Look, now that she's been elected, I'm weirdly proud of Kamala Harris. And if you've ever watched The Young Turks and you've seen me talk about Kamala Harris's policy positions, sometimes especially during the primary, you would think, yeah, that is quite weird. Well, as I explained in our election week coverage, look, I'm an immigrant, and so in that sense, I really relate to her, and she's one of us in that sense. Like, her dad is Jamaican, her mom is Indian. Growing up, a huge percentage of my friends were Indian growing up in New Jersey. They still are. We're lifelong friends. My last girlfriend was Jamaican. As a lot of you know, I'm Mr. Jamaica because she was Miss Jamaica. I'm not saying anything. I just said it, though. Anyway, so when I look at her, I kind of see us, if you will. And also by us, I mean, folks who are not, considered standard, old school, mainstream Americans. Like, there's nothing non-mainstream about us. There's nothing not, like, we're 100% American all through and through. But she's an immigrant, and not a lot of immigrants ever made it to the White House in any way, shape, or form. And she's a woman, and she's the first one to break through, so that's not a little deal. And you know me, I don't play identity politics at all, and it drives me crazy when corporate Democrats play identity politics. It also drives me crazy when the Republicans play white identity politics, like the Southern Strategy, which is the most harmful and disastrous of all. OMZ31, thank you so much for the super chat. So, but it is a big deal that there's never been a woman that is president or vice president, and she just became vice president. And it is awesome for women. And so I might not agree with every position Kamala Harris has, but it's great to see someone in that role. And I got weirdly proud of it as I saw her speaking like yes, even though I have issues with some of her policies. Now, by the way, did she mention any policies? No, she only mentioned the epidemic when she started talking about policy. She said, now we want to do good work. And I was like, oh, great, I'm ready. And then she only mentioned the epidemic. But that's okay. She's just kind of introducing herself again for the first time now as vice president-elect. And she's the warm-up act in this context in introducing the president. So I didn't expect much policy. So there's nothing wrong with what she said. It was interesting that she said truth. She emphasized, we're the party of this, we're the party of that. Margar, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. And Onyx, you as well, especially at the Essentials level member, you get all of our post games as well. And so she emphasized, we're also the party of truth. And I was like, ooh, I like that, okay? Because unfortunately these days, there is a party of truth and a party of lies, and it's super clear which one is which, okay? And so I'm glad she said that. And she said, we're the party of science. And I was like, there you go again. And then Biden several times mentioned science, like, hey, we're going to be for science. How sad is it for the Republican Party that the Democrats now juxtapose themselves by saying they're in favor of science? In a lot of ways, it's incredibly sad for the country because the Republicans have set the lowest bar possible. I believe in gravity. Oh, congratulations, you're the president, because the last guy didn't believe in any science at all. That's where we are today. But I'm glad that they mentioned science several times. Falcon Customs, thank you so much for the super chat. And so that's great. So that's all I got on Kamala Harris. Then Joe Biden comes in. Even in coming in, there was a couple of fun moments. He jogged on. It was like, oh, look at Grandpa jogging, which is going to lead to my big conversation about half of the thing about Biden in a second. He also came into Bruce Springsteen's song that I have on my iTunes, so I like that a lot too. Okay, that's so funny. Sleepy just became a member at the Essentials level, and of course, Trump's nickname was Sleepy Joe Biden. And as Jim Clyburn said on TV today, I guess he woke up. Who needs to go 99 now? Donald Trump. In fact, on Trump, I'm going to do a whole nother video because I'm livid about what he said about whether he might leave or not. So that we'll save that for the next one. But there's two hugely important parts of what Biden said. So first is he's like the comforter in chief, right? Comforter in a couple of different ways. And I wrote this tweet last night, which got a lot of amusing reaction, at least it was amusing to me, about how he's like, democracy is a funny, wonderful, messy thing, I said. And America kind of wanted a comforting grandpa, and that's exactly what Biden is. And he seemed like that tonight too. And it's like, at this troubling times, it's so cold and dark out. You need like a comfortable old sweater and maybe chill out on the couch for a couple of years and catch your breath, right? But I don't mean that as like, hey, yeah, that's a great thing. And so, whereas people are like, oh, wait a minute, are you saying we should do nothing for 2 years? Have you ever met me? If I'm going to breathe at all, it's going to be to breathe fire. But America had a lot of choices. Democrats had a lot of choices, and they picked them for a reason. And it's because they really feel like they need a break and they need some sort of uniter. And he emphasized that over and over again in this speech. He had emphasized it in his speech yesterday. And so that was his main theme. In terms of Paul from Norway, thank you for the super chat. And thank you. He said, congrats to the United States of America. We appreciate it, and you're right to congratulate us. We made the right decision this time and by this much. But actually, Biden talked about that. He said, to be fair to him and to all the Democrats who voted for him and all the non-Democrats who voted for him, he said, we got more votes than anyone in United States history. Isn't that amazing that Joe Biden got more votes than anyone else in U.S. history? And of course, honestly, like he would have had a giant number of votes anyway, just because he's a Democratic candidate. But the reason why it broke a record was because the extra votes were against Donald Trump. And you know it, I know, I think Joe Biden knows it. But so, hey, rest of the world, we did it. Trump's guys also showed up a lot. They also voted a ton. Trump got more votes than Obama did. So, and credit to the right wing for participating in democracy. What they did after the democracy is a different question. What they were trying to do to democracy is a different question. But for all the voters who participated in it, boy, did they ever participate. So it was hard to beat Trump because of how many right-wingers voted. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's called America, okay? And as it turned out in this case, Democrats and independents were so mad at Trump, they participated even more. Yes, is what I have to say to that. Trump today tweeted out, he's so sad. He's so sad. Well, he doesn't know that you guys fired him. ShopTYT.com. I can't show that shirt to you enough. Shiroyasha23, thank you for becoming a member, brother. Or sister, I don't know. All right, so, and so Trump tweeted out, I got 71 million, and that's more than Obama got. Yeah, except the other dude got 4 million more than you. That's a pretty critical fact that you kind of left out of your tweet as you were crying inside your bunker that you're now surrounded yourself. And again, let me save the rage on that for the next video. But so Biden is right. You got more votes than anyone else in history, 74, 75 million. That's where it's going to wind up. It's just a giant number. So congrats to him. But more importantly, congrats to all of you out there who actually participated and voted, and you made all the difference. And you know, then now this is kind of a funny thing. And you guys, some of you might be like, wait a minute, does he like that comfortable old sweater? In some weird way, I'm also proud of Biden. Now, that's where a lot of you go. Okay. So let me explain. So I don't agree with Biden within the Democratic Party. Obviously, I fought hard for Bernie Sanders in the primaries, and there's a lot of people I would have preferred to Biden. And Biden's got a lot of problems with both his past and his future, which is the main important thing that I'm going to get to in a second. But in terms of the thing that I'm proud about is this son of a gun. He's been running and running. I remember I met him when he was running for president in '88. He ran for president in 2008, and he got rocked. To be fair to him, though, he's probably one of the most storied senators in United States history, right? And he was vice president, and he wanted it so bad. Everybody who not only knew Joe Biden, but like me, who had ever met him, even in brief or in passing, and I met him a couple times. I did a different videos about that. He just oozed of, God, I want to be president so bad. The only person I've ever seen that maybe wanted it as bad as Joe Biden is Mitt Romney. Think Romney gave up? He didn't give up. He might be back. Anyway, so seeing him up there, I was like, well, you got a tip of the hat to this dude who wanted it so bad and got it. So good for him. And look, at the same time, my job is to keep it real. I remember one time when I was anchoring on MSNBC, I said after an Obama speech, I'm about to keep it real, and my producer was in my ear within seconds, going, "Don't keep it real." I mean, if ever there was a definition of cable news, that's it. But here we do, and so I got to keep it real with you. That of course a giant part of it was that he got lucky that Obama picked him. Obama could have picked any old white Democratic senator, to be honest with you, and it would have done the job. Now, credit to Biden that he's the one that Obama picked. Did he look through all their records and thought Biden was the best one for the job? But that was a giant stroke of luck. If Obama had picked someone else, Joe Biden clearly would not be president today. That's a stone cold fact. I mean, and then Obama intervened, of course, before Super Tuesday and got Buttigieg, Klobuchar, and everyone else to drop out and back Biden, and that made all the difference. So Obama made Biden president in several different ways. In fact, one of my favorite moments in the speech was when Biden acknowledged, hey, he said the African American community stood up, and you've always had my back, and I'm always going to have yours. Good for you, Joe. Good for you. That's good. Now, I don't always have their back historically, but okay, bygones be bygones. Let's hope for the best going forward. Now, I'm going to get to the most important part, but there's a lot of members I got to shout out right now. Lee Daniel Hall, thank you for joining, and you hit the join button below, and I try to read your name as we do this. Sean Swindles at the Essentials level, you get the post games, brother. Thank you. Heaven joined us. Well, I'm in heaven. Don't have me sing. But I like that Heaven is now part of the Young Turks. Josiane Bennett at the Essentials level member, thank you. Parissa Shabani, thank you for the super chat. Justin Garcia, thank you for the super chat. Victoria Crisanti at the premium level member. You get all of our videos and you help support the show so much. Thank you so much. Brian Bastanza at the Essentials level. And last couple here, Aaron H., Rai Caruso just signed up. Smartbait, Daniel Racines, I forget if I say that. Avery Canary, thank you for the super chat. William Wallace, again? How many times are you going to sign up, William Wallace? But thank you for representing freedom again. Shelby L., thank you. Christopher Johansson, thank you for the super chat. Shane King, not Sean King, Shane King, thank you for becoming a member. A guy from chat said, thank you. And I'm back as Shiroyasha 23. So I'm good to go. So let's get to the most important part of the speech, guys. So it's all going fine. Yay, science. Yay, unity. I know what unity means, but I don't want to be too cynical. And, that was his shtick, and I'm repairing the soul of the country. And he said, stop treating our opponents as our enemies. That's a line he used last night, too. It's not realistic, but it's fine. And this is the moment to heal people. And he said he mentioned the Bible and said it is a time to heal. Okay, good. God bless. And Arc of the Moral Universe bends towards justice. That quote is used too often. But I love it. I love that quote, so I liked it when he used it. It works on me every time. Jerry Williams, thank you for joining and mentioning the war on Christmas. By the way, Too Strong Coffee. is about to have a Christmas mug that you guys are going to love. H, thank you for becoming a supporter. We appreciate it. And then when he talked about policy, and Ryan Harvey, you as well, when he talked about policy, it was okay. Epidemic, sure. Root out racial injustice. I'm glad he said it. Daniels Lee, thank you for joining at the premium level membership. Super appreciated. Talked about healthcare. But then boots on the ground, awesome. And we need you at the premium level if you're going to be boots on the ground. Yabancı. You're no yabancı to me. That's a Turkish word, means stranger. Look at me being all bilingual in the middle of this video. Okay, so Talha Sheik, thank you, brother. Arrow 138, thank you, and especially at the premium level. Okay, so hello world, hello right back at you for the super chat. And I'll get to members in a sec, but let me finish up in terms of the most important part. Unfortunately, the most important part was bad. Okay, and sure, we want to hey, kumbaya and all that stuff. But he started talking about how we must cooperate, like that his driving force is going to be to cooperate. And then I was like, just please leave it generic. It's already bad enough, but just leave it generic. Now, if you're a normal viewer and you watch CNN or MSNBC, they're going to be like, yes, cooperation, we love it. Bipartisan tax cuts for the rich. Wait, did we say the quiet part out loud? Kind of. Okay. They do later times, but they love that kind of talk. But, on a night like this, when you're trying to bring the country together, nothing wrong with saying cooperating. But then he went further and he said, we've got to cooperate with Republicans and we could, get things done together and we've got to do it together. Okay, so why is that bad, guys? Because that means he just gave Mitch McConnell veto power over any bill. And there's no way in the world Mitch McConnell is ever going to agree to anything that is a Democratic priority. Forget progressive priorities. No chance. I mean, that is gone, gone, gone. In this world, if the Republicans control the Senate and Joe Biden is trying to make deals with Republicans, zero progressive priorities will pass. And I don't know that Democratic leadership will even allow it to even be proposed in the House, let alone the Senate. So, but even on core Democratic, easy, moderate Democratic priorities, bye-bye. If you're trying to get bills that Republicans are going to sign on to, the only ones they're going to sign on to are Republican bills, period. Yeah, you'll get your normal, appropriations, your normal budget, and even then they'll pull shenanigans and say no to the budget. They'll say no to raising the debt ceiling. They'll so all those tricks. So, which leads to two questions. So is Joe Biden really that naive? Or is he trying to, basically make his corporate donors happy? And you might be surprised. I actually am going to go with naive. But it's kind of both. So here's what I mean by that. His whole life is about bipartisanship, Joe Biden. That's why he tried to cut Social Security all those times, because he thought it was such a wonderful thing to compromise on. Yeah, he's compromising with your money, right? And your livelihood and your well-being. But that's Washington. And he's compromised with Republicans on 1,000 things. I'll give you a great example. When Obama was president, they were working on a tax bill, and the Republicans wanted to make George Bush's tax cuts for the rich, which actually twice the size of Trump's. It was $4 trillion, okay? Actually, by the time it was done, it was $5.7 trillion once you extend it into the Obama years. And so the Republicans are trying to make that permanent. Even Bush couldn't make that permanent when he was president. Biden went and negotiated the worst deal in American history. It was so bad that other corporate Democrats were furious with him. They're like, well, this isn't even a compromise. You just gave the Republicans everything they wanted. And it, according to different ways of calculating it, it codified 82% to 94% of the tax cuts for the rich that Bush had passed temporarily. Well, actually, that means the Obama administration gave a bigger tax cut to the rich than Bush did because they made them permanent. And honestly, it's even bigger than the one Trump did. And the guy who negotiated that deal with Mitch McConnell was Joe Biden. Michael Bennet, most establishment Democrat you'll ever meet, was so furious about that deal, he wrote a whole book about what a bad deal that was and how Biden got played. So I know that, and that's one of the reasons I opposed Biden in the primary. And we talked about it during the primaries. No one in mainstream media ever talked about it, even though Michael Bennet brought it up in a presidential debate. They just dropped it, let it go, and pretended it didn't happen. When I asked one of Biden's surrogates, Chris Coons, about it, he pretended it didn't happen. He smirked like, yeah, like that happened. It did. Your colleague wrote a whole book about it. Anyway, so of course I'm hoping against hope that Biden doesn't do that kind of stuff when he gets in here. But with that speech basically saying, I got to have the Republicans agree to anything I do, well, it's over. I mean, so look, your best hope is it was just a unity speech because he just got elected and he's trying to unify the country and he doesn't mean it. But knowing Joe Biden's history and the way that he stated it, I think he does believe it. And it's partly because he is naive. And he thinks, oh no, I can get the Republicans to cooperate, even though for 8 years that's what Obama tried to do, and they wouldn't do it. But he cannot get it out of his DNA. He needs bipartisanship so bad. It's his lifeline and his bloodline. But the other half is also true. It's because he doesn't mind those deals, because he kind of agrees with moderate. It's not really moderate Republicans. There are no moderate Republicans. Mitch McConnell's the least moderate person on the planet. But corporate Republicans. He agrees with corporate Republicans because he's a corporate Democrat. And honestly, corporate Democrats have a lot more in common with corporate Republicans than they do with progressives. So they're going to make those deals, and those deals are going to be terrible. And we're not only are we not going to get anything we want, I'm now worried that the Republicans are going to get a good deal of what they want. So, oh boy. Okay. So I got one more thing, but let me shout out the members here. Yasir Gabar just joined up at the Essentials level. Thank you, brother. Evelyn Lee Barney. I'm going to read her super chat because it's a good one. I was cynic, and I am a cynic, but Kamala stood in her pearly white suit and talked about how long we waited, how the moment we waited for was now, and I cried. I'm still crying, and I'm still a cynic. Evelyn, I love you, and that's exactly right, and in a lot of ways that I felt the same thing. I didn't cry, but it was, like I explained in the beginning of the video, to have a woman finally get there, and she's also an immigrant and black and Indian, etc. It was a really nice moment, even if we don't agree with all of her policies. Okay, Super Hoods, thank you. Premium level too, thank you, brother. That Candy Girl, that's a fun name. Essentials level, appreciate it. Hello World, hello right back at you. Hello somebody, that's Nina Turner. But hello World, thank you for the super chat. Joe Blogs, thank you for the super chat. Christopher Johansson, I think I said. Did I miss a bunch of you? I did, didn't I? Shane King, thank you for the super chat too. Oh, it is the same as Sean King, is it? I have a twin named Sean King. Oh, no joke, but not that Sean King. Okay. And you met Sean King, so that's good. That's fun. All right. So, one last. Oh, by the way, the sweatshirt for You're Fired came in. Okay. Oh, I love this sweatshirt. Now it's getting cold in LA. So, and I'm sure it's cold in a lot of places. So that's shoptyt.com. All right. We're going to give him a chance. Tony Ahillo, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Hit the join button below. Super easy. Rebel Outpost Media. Oh, I like that. I like the handle. I didn't get a chance to read the message. Sorry. Yvette Bell, thank you for joining at the premium level. Really appreciate it. We're good guys. We're going to give him a chance. But I know Joe Biden. I know his history. I know the speech I just saw. Watch out. Ginny Time Bomb from East Brunswick, New Jersey. I'm from East Brunswick, New Jersey. You know that. And the minute he goes and proposes the grand bargain or something that McConnell likes, trust me, we're going to come for him. So the warm and fuzzy feelings end when you try to screw over Americans by doing a deal with McConnell that'll help both of your donors and will very much hurt Americans. If he can, but really the other level, and look, guys, Rebellion PAC's on the Georgia races. If we win those Georgia races, it changes everything. It's going to be really hard. On the other hand, it looks like Biden won Georgia, so it's definitely doable. It's possible. And rebellionpac.com, we're going to try to hurt those Republican candidates politically, okay? But, like, really, Okay, so we'll give it our best shot. We'll show you the videos when we have them. If you can help, that's great. But in terms of the last part of it is, guys, it's not just when they go to do something bad. Hey, Brandon Mikowicz, thank you for using Super Chat, and I think you signed up as a member, and I missed you earlier, but I noticed because this reminds me of Ben Mankiewicz, my original co-host, of course, who's on every once in a while. So anyway, in terms of action, it's not just the deals they want to do with Mitch McConnell. It's also the things they don't propose. So if they don't insist on $15 minimum wage, we're going to have an issue. And that's where the Just Democrats are going to come in and try to make a big difference. If they don't insist on trying for a public option, we're going to have a big, big issue. I mean, the public option is the bare minimum. We're not having a conversation about not doing public option, let alone Medicare for all. And I think Medicare for all should at least be voted on in the House. We'll talk about that more as we go. But for now, it's like a nice moment, and I feel bad about like being kind of a cynic about the moment, as I think Evelyn was saying. But that's my job, is to tell you the reality. And the reality is the end of that speech led you to believe, buckle up. Not brace for impact, but if they keep going in that direction, they better brace for impact, because then progressives will come. All right, last set of shout-outs. Nichelle Lewis just upgraded to premium. Thank you, Nichelle. Allison Vogelsong Zejnati, premium level. What a great name. Sean King, now the twin, I think, came in. That's awesome. Hey, Sean. David Smith, thank you for the super chat. What'd you say? Oh, I'm definitely getting that sweatshirt. I know, right? It's awesome. Thank you, brother. QFYI, Scorpion something. Thank you guys for the super chats. Terrell Hargrave, Essentials level awesome. Kevin Vanderhagen, I love these names. Ernest Barnes, how's that for a great name? Ambitionary, as in dictionary, but ambitious. Philinda I Am, these are all members that just joined up. Jorge Montes, EI, thank you for the super chat. The Muta, I don't know if you upgraded because I thought I remember reading your name before. Kazi Tafik Iqbal, premium level. Thank you guys. This is America, by the way. Yvette Bell, I think I read Yvette. Carlita Viga, yep, all right. And I think Rebel Outpost Media did another super chat. Thank you guys. And I think I missed the name, but you get it. I love you. And if you missed the sweatshirt he's talking about, the You're Fired sweatshirt, and then in shirts, there's a blue version, a black version, and this white version. And there's a lot of other swag with this stuff on it. ShopTYT.com. Love you guys. By the way, stay around. I'm going to do a rage one on Trump in just a little bit. David Turk, thank you. Good name.